Hello, everyone, and I am so glad that I'm alive and I'm here with you today because I got some stuff that I want to talk about.
You sound like Mr. Rogers, man.
Come on, man. Don't hate on my Mr. Rogers flow.
It's positive. It's good. It's positive. It's good energy. It's good to start off. Hope everyone's having a good time. This is Dupless. I don't have an intro like him yet, but I'll make one up eventually.
I didn't say cosmic. I'm cosmic.
Well, that was the way you said it. It was actually kind of funny because you were like, hello, and then you were like, I feel great.
I do, man. I feel great, man. I really do because I had a really awesome week, like a whole week in general.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, no, this is one major point as to why we have kind of been feeling good about ourselves. We have been removing the negativity and kind of trying to put in as much positivity as we can, and it has been working really, really well.
Yeah, bro. Like, I am really, really proud of us.
Yeah.
Just all the stuff that we've accomplished over the past week, man.
Very true. That little bit of time as far as in between the first one that we made as far as like the intro to now, we have done a lot to fix this.
A lot of editing.
Yeah. We've tweaked a few things. We've fixed a few things. We still have a long way to go. But from the intro to right now, oh, yeah, this is definitely a step in the right direction.
I think that we have matured very much. It just over the past couple weeks, I have realized a lot on a personal level.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of growth mentally and, overall. My emotional settings are a lot better. I feel good about myself. I feel positive. I want to bring that energy to everyone around me and just, throughout my life.
But enough about that. Let's get right into it. So last week we just did kind of the intro thing. We didn't really delve into anything, but this week we're going to talk about social media. And I know, okay, so I have a Facebook. I've always had a Facebook. I've never really used Instagram or Twitter or anything. I've always used Facebook, and that was only because my family was on it. And I mean, of course, I had some friends that I would talk to, but for the most part, I really didn't use it. Especially like I remember when Facebook first came out.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I used it. I would get on my Facebook through my PSP. That was a cell phone at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
The PSP. I didn't have cell phones.
No, back then. That was, I remember there were certain other websites before that people were trying to use, like Facebook with things like MySpace. Mm-hmm. And there was
I did have
other
MySpace.
ones. There was, what is it? I think it was called like Zoomy or Zoomers or something like that. And that was
remember, did you ever have a Gaia?
Oh, no, yeah, I did.
I had Gaia. Gaia was that.
Gaia was
awesome.
really cool. But it's like, that was, in the sense of like social media, honestly, when you hear the word social media, the first thing you really think of, oh, Facebook, oh, Twitter, oh, Instagram. That's, everybody has it under every commercial. Like us on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's social media. But in like the grand scheme of things, like social media is basically anything that connects people together to hold a conversation.
Yeah, we're not just necessarily talking about your Facebook or your Snapchat.
Yeah.
We mean everything.
Yeah.
I consider playing Xbox Live. That's social media.
In the grand scheme, anything that connects people over the internet would be a form of social media. Mm-hmm. It is something that someone is using to communicate either their viewpoints or their feelings. Like this podcast right now, this is a form of social media. And in the grand scheme of things, social media can be really, really useful. And if you watched the little Zuckerberg movie and you saw how he created the website and everything else, you can see the benefits of how you can make money off of social media.
What was that movie called? I never watched it.
You didn't?
No.
I'm
not a big movie watcher.
No. I remember just watching it simply because I wanted to get a little bit more insight on how this all went together. But, there's probably things that they leave out and stuff like that. I can't remember the exact name of the movie. I think it was just called Facebook.
Honestly. Oh, was it?
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm not sure. But, yeah, it was. They had it, and they basically show the process of Facebook being created, and when he was in college and all this stuff, and like it originated as him just making a website to see if the students, like some of the students were hot or not or something like that. And then it went from that to him actually creating a brand website for the entire college and then it became a website for anybody to use. So
the social network.
The social network. That's
the social
yes,
network.
that is what it was
2010.
called. Yeah. No. Like I said, social media has definitely bloomed into a huge thing. And if you're looking at America, and I mean in the world in general, social media is everywhere. It's going to be.
I feel it's definitely not what it used to be. It's definitely not what it used to be. No. Oh hell, man! If you go back to MySpace, man, you don't like just the ads and things. You know, back then you didn't have cameras like you do now.
No, that's true.
You have cameras. Everybody's recording everything. Everything you do. That's the first thing people want to do is they pull out that camera and they start recording.
I need to see how good quality is on here. That's like
even in like life or death situations. That's the first thing people do, man.
And that's what I mean.
If somebody's getting their booty kick, man, that's like, what do you do? Oh yeah, oh man, that's the first thing you want. World star.
Yeah, pop your phone out.
We probably have to censor that.
What? No, it's cool. No, yeah, you've already done so a few times. It's all good. Yeah, no, like it has become that's second nature almost, and we have people that sit there and they make videos of themselves trying to act like they're doing a really, really good deed for a homeless person or something like that. And everybody thinks if they can get their 5 minutes of fame through social media, it doesn't really matter what the context is. It just matters what they're doing. That's the point. Like,
but they can't.
I mean, of course.
They can, man. That's the sad thing about it. Is you can get online and act a fool, and people will react to it.
Yes, and that's how you get famous. You can get famous from doing really, really dumb things, but you can also get famous in a smart way. But like the smart way doesn't actually get paid attention to. You kind of have to dig a little bit and go through the trenches of networking and things like that, and showing your brand and everything else. And that's how social media can be used in a much, much better way. It can make you money. You can really put it into something that creates a business for yourself. But the way things are going nowadays, like people are paying attention to people. Oh, here's a challenge. They're challengers. Let me light myself on fire. I'm gonna sit here and eat something that, like, why are you eating Tide Pods? Like that's dumb. That doesn't make any sense.
And to be real, like if you watch that and you give it the attention that it wants, I mean, I don't see you being any better than that person that did it to begin with.
Yeah. It's funny because people think they go, oh, well, I commented how dumb it is. I commented on how this isn't very smart. Okay, but you actually
still gave them that comment.
You sat through you
entertained it.
Yeah,
you entertained it.
It's not something if
that's like, okay, you're like 10 years old and your sister's poking you over and over and over again. She wants that reaction out of you. Yeah. If you give it to her, you think she's going to stop?
Positive or negative, it doesn't really matter.
No, it just gets worse.
Yeah, it's going to continue. If we give anything on the internet time and space, it's going to grow. If you ever tell somebody to take something off of the internet, you have made a grave mistake, because it's just going to get spread. And that's what I mean as far as
unfortunately, I mean, look at just recently through this New Zealand thing, man.
Yeah. That was
awful.
That was a situation that looks like, oh, it's just a mass shooter, but no, he wanted the attention. That's what it is. That's what social media is starting to become. It's all about attention, and the more that you have, the better.
I personally, I didn't watch it.
No, me neither.
Again, I didn't want to give it the attention that same. I think he wanted.
Yeah, it was a troll move, basically.
But he in the end, did he not get what he was after?
I mean, yeah, basically. And again, that's what I mean when I said it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. If you get publicity, that's really the saying, publicity, no matter good or bad, is going to be positive for you because it gets you noticed. Like, I don't really see why nowadays there are so many instances of, I guess, more so of like people trying to put themselves in a better light through social media when they really know that that's not true. Like, they're really aware of the fact that their real life in comparison to the life that they have on the internet is not the same. And their sense of like happiness can come from the internet and the internet only. The friends that they've made on the internet, the people that they know, that it's like you don't really actually know these people on their day-to-day lives. You just know what they're posting.
Exactly.
And it's not something that you can really sit here and say, oh, well, I have a real connection with this individual or stuff like that. Like, I know those things can definitely happen. There's people that you can find that you definitely share a lot of things that you like and have that comparison. But, like, there are going to be moments where you're like, oh, I might not like the fact that this person does this on a normal basis. This is something that I don't align with, but I don't see those types of things. So there's this fake persona that comes about when you only are reading or just looking at the pictures they post and the videos that they post and the little things that they say. That's not really good enough to actually create a level of understanding to say that, yeah, this is a real friend of mine and stuff like that.
So I feel like with this persona that's being created, you're kind of getting this false image of what you should be. Honestly, it's a little sickening to me because when I see stuff like that, it to me, we're getting away from what we should be naturally as humans. We're not actually
perfect. We're definitely not perfect, and we think that we try to make that up on the internet.
No, by no means. So I definitely feel like if you're using social media, like there's a certain level of maturity that it's kind of required. I think that's a big problem nowadays is that we're introducing social media at a younger and younger age.
Yeah.
Like it's really nothing nowadays to see somebody like a 1 and 2 year old playing with iPads.
Yeah.
And getting on. I don't know. I guess what age is right for social media?
Well, I would think you kind of have to look at it in the sense of like, well, with the maturity level as far as age and things like that, there are babies that know how to navigate through YouTube with no problem. They can just do that. And it gets to that to being when they learn how to read and stuff like that. And when a kid gets older, they start to create that whole persona like we were talking about earlier. And that's where those types of things, like when it comes to like cyberbullying comes in. You get to put something over you to where when you say something mean or hurtful, it doesn't really matter because nobody knows who it is.
Okay, so say you were a government official and you had to decide like a certain age what you think it should be legal for somebody to get on social media and to create their own social media accounts.
Well, I mean, technically, we already have that. It's just the fact that nobody pays attention to it. We do have those restrictions. Oh, you're supposed to be 13 years or older. And see, that's the crazy part about how it's going now. It's we don't even notice that part anymore.
Dude, I see people that when they have babies, they'll make Facebook accounts for their babies, and so they post all of the baby pictures to the Facebook account, so it's saved to your Facebook.
This will be your Facebook account when you get old enough to use one. Like, why would you?
Well, I don't know. In a way, I think that's really cool.
No, that's cool. That's cool to be able to create like a portfolio.
When you get older,
child.
You're gonna really appreciate that. If this Facebook is still around by the time you're older,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I can still get on like a photo bucket account that I've had when I was younger, and you can. And again, that's it can create that kind of time capsule effect, and you can get those things out of it for dang sure. But like honestly, there kind of does need to be a little bit more regulation, and I mean that kind of goes into what the parents are doing when it comes to that kind of stuff.
So you think the parents should?
That has to be something that needs to be paid attention to more because if I said
agree
before,
with that. I definitely like if your kids are on social media, you need to know about it. You need to know what your children are doing on the internet.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about.
And I feel like that's a big problem is that parents aren't aware of what. I have, and this is just an example, but I have relatives, and they're my little cousins, man, and they came over to stay the night with me one night, and they're on the Switch, and they're watching YouTube on the Switch, and I come around the corner, and I hear this, what?
Who taught you that?
I'm just like, whoa, dude, whoa. What are you watching?
Yeah.
What are you watching? Oh, it's what was it? Jeffy. This is Jeffy. He's funny.
Yeah, no.
He's funny.
No.
Funny. Insert name here. I'm like,
no.
Does your dad know?
Yeah,
Does your dad know? Does your dad know that you watch this? Because I'm going to need to know.
And see, that's with younger kids. Like, you think about a younger individual and you go, oh, okay, well, as a parent, I want to be able to sit here and make sure that my kids aren't watching this and that. But you're so busy, you don't really pay that much attention to it. And when they become teenagers, that's still a part of that whole persona concept. You are literally telling your parents or, the people you care about that kind of do monitor you on a smaller basis, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not talking to anybody like this or doing anything I'm not supposed to, when you could literally be a whole different person. You don't have to put a picture of yourself on the internet. You don't have to connect your name to certain things. You can be as bad and different as you want to, which can help someone like maybe get over a few things. But when you really kind of pay attention to it, it gives you a golden ticket to really lash out and kind of act the way that you look at yourself on the inside.
Because there's no repercussions.
None. There's literally none. Like, I remember before, what was the old school AOL chats? Where, man, you could change who you were every single time you got on a new page. It didn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one second you're a 35-year-old man from Wisconsin, and the next day you're a 25-year-old girl that likes to go out in New York and stuff like that. It's like you can do these things and it doesn't matter.
Kids aren't ready for the internet, I don't think. There's certain things on the internet that I feel are good for a child to view. Like, for instance, when I was growing up, a big thing on the internet was what do we have? The Jumpstart?
Jumpstart, yeah. We were talking about that before.
We had Jumpstart. Yeah. Of course, that wasn't online. That was just
but that was something as far as computers go that was really, really useful. But sure. See, that's where the difference is now. Everything is connected to the internet. And I remember before we saw that stuff about they were taking videos of characters that kids do know, like Peppa Pig and all the rest of those people, and making videos about, like talking about, oh, this is what you do and you can set your house on fire and all this stuff. But they use the characters. So that's crazy. You sit here and think as a parent, oh, my kid's just watching Peppa Pig. Nope. It's a YouTube video that somebody else made to try to make your kid do something they're not supposed to. Like, that's where that evilness can come in, and you don't even think about the consequences that you're creating when you do these kinds of things, and it really, really can cause a lot of issues.
I mean, I don't have any children personally, but I definitely, like, if you know that your kid's going through some stuff, yeah. I mean, you need to be aware of what their intake is.
Yeah.
You definitely have to know what they're watching, who they're around, and unfortunately, that's a really hard thing to do nowadays with our school systems. School today is completely different from what we grew up with.
Yeah, I mean, like back then, if somebody was messing with you at school, you go home and now you're safe. That carries on when you get home, when you turn your computer on, or when you get on your cell phone. That the things that happen at school that could be affecting you is literally going to travel from school and only being there to then being at home, and then you don't tell anybody that's around you. Like,
also, I mean, I feel like we need to teach our kids to, again, not don't give it attention. Don't give it the time of day. The more attention that you give it, the more you're feeding into it, the bigger it grows.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of a situation that would stem on a situation when it comes to like mental health. When we back then, honestly, it's really funny to think about. Me and Cosmic were having a conversation about back then when you'd be on Xbox Live and with the start of social media for us, getting cussed out on a Modern Warfare server
Kids are
was
wusses
terrible.
Now, man. Kids are such wusses.
Yeah, like I don't really think they'd be able to deal with something like that. If you got on one of those and you got called the N-word multiple times and the F-word and this and that, and it's just like,
it was just like whatever.
Yeah, it didn't matter. You would talk crap right back to them, and then you'd get off, and nobody would really care. But that was because
when I turned it off, that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
I turned it off. Mm-hmm. I had nothing else.
We had that disconnect.
Exactly.
It was a moment of saying, okay, I'm no longer on the internet now. I'm not talking to random strangers that don't really care about my feelings.
But now you have kids commit suicide,
which is really bad.
People commit suicide.
Yeah.
Over the stuff that they see online. They compare and they care about their image, their online image that much.
Yeah.
That if something happens to destroy that image, they destroy themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have that popularity level on the internet as you do, that carries on in school and things like that, then you're a nobody. If you don't have the right amount of followers, if you don't get the right amount of retweets, nobody cares about you.
We have to be aware of what our kids are intaking. We have to be a part of our child's lives. I think that's a big problem with parents nowadays, is that they're just not involved with what their kids are doing. And that's why a lot of this bullying is even taking place. Yeah. If you're not watching what your children do, and how they're being interacted with, then how do you know how to counsel them on that kind of stuff?
True.
How do you know to tell them, okay, this is not right. No, you're a beautiful person.
Yeah.
Don't listen to what this person has to say. You listen to yourself, and you listen to what your heart tells you. You don't listen to outside influences such as that.
Yeah, that's true. I that is a big thing. As far as with social media, in the grand scheme of what we're kind of talking about here, it can have a very, very different effect if you talk to your kids one-on-one directly. And as he said, he doesn't have kids, I don't have kids. We know people, we have younger people that we care about and things like that. So we don't want those types of situations to happen. And it sucks nowadays that a lot of parents just don't understand how to navigate through the internet. So they don't really take the time to kind of pay that much attention to it. And they let their kids kind of go about it because they go, oh, they're fine. Nothing's a big deal. It doesn't really matter.
Well, do you think it's like a generational gap thing? Do you think maybe just because I know my parents don't know how to use social media properly, in my opinion.
It can be. It definitely can be. It all depends on if you decide to, as an older individual, take the time to learn about that stuff, because we are at that cusp. For us and the age group that we're currently in, we were right in between to where when the internet was being created and when you had to go to your friend's house and ring the doorbell to ask for them to come outside. People don't do that anymore. I'm pretty positive there are a lot of kids who have literally never gone to their friend's house, rung the doorbell, their parents came to the door and said, can such and such come out and play? That's a parent looking at a child saying, okay, this is who my child is interacting with. They have that connection because they're just people. That's easy to do. I can call that person's parents and say, hey, my child wants to go hang out with your child. We can mingle, and that's easy to do. But saying I got to get on the internet and create a profile and follow my daughter or son on Facebook so I know what they're doing, that it doesn't work the same.
It's not realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I've only got so much time in the day, and I guess it would be kind of difficult looking at it from another standpoint.
True.
You know, if I don't have enough time to check my own social media, how am I going to check my child's social media? Mm-hmm. But again, it needs to boil down to the relationship that you have with your child.
True. Definitely true.
Yeah, so definitely, like, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to tell you how to parent, because I'm not. I'm not a parent myself. I'm speaking out of ignorance in this whole situation. But I definitely feel like at the end of the day, you need to talk to your kids. Please have that relationship with your children.
It's such a crazy thing to kind of think about, because when you are a kid, you don't really look at the big picture of like, oh, my parents are trying to help me. And then you start to think about, oh, they're trying to butt into my lives. And I mean, in a weird way, that kind of has to go into like things like privacy and stuff like that. But social media,
privacy is a big problem on social media.
Social media and privacy, and the way a child looks at it, and the way that it actually like goes on with like adults and stuff. That's, oh man, that is. There are so many things that you see when it comes to like the ads that pop up from you're just doing day-to-day stuff. And man, I know for a fact, we literally tried it on purpose. Cosmic sat there and started randomly talking about cat food really loud just to say something really quick. And
it wasn't even 3 days later, I got an ad on my Facebook for cat food.
Like, how does those types of things happen? That's the type of scary thing. It's like that weird ignorance. Like I said, when it comes to a kid, they're going to think, oh, well, my parents are butting into my lives and stuff like this, but they're trying to help you. I don't think the social media that's happening nowadays is like a parent trying to help somebody out. They just want to get that type of attention, so they know who they're targeting.
Is it just social media though? Or like, cause I noticed like, okay, on my phone, we'll go somewhere and we'll come back and my Google Maps will give me a notification like, hey, how was this barbecue place that you just went to?
Well, that's the thing. That would be, isn't that like a form of social media? That's your phone trying to say, hey, how did you feel about this? Comment on it. Say how you feel so other people can read these reviews too. That's what they're trying to play it off as.
To me, that's really scary.
That is disturbing. Like, I don't understand how there are moments where I'll watch one video on something, or I'll just so happen to pick something up in the store, or I'll check out. I'll check out with certain items, and then I see it in a little side note on a Twitter page talking about, hey, this is some ad for this or that. And I'm like, I don't type about this. I don't talk about this on the internet. Why is this coming up in the cyberspace in comparison to my real life? That part does not make any sense to me.
So like when I see stuff like that, when I see like these ads that don't have anything to pertain to me, or like if I see my Google Maps go off, it really makes me want to take a break from my phone, because it honestly, like, it's a little scary to me that my phone knows where I'm at constantly, and so it makes me want to take it off. But like, you can't. People are wearing their cell phones on their wrists now.
Yeah, these Apple Watches are a thing. That's real. It's crazy because they it's convenient. It helps. It helps me live my day-to-day easier. I don't have to take my phone out of my pocket. But this thing is connected to you now. And that's something that you would sit there and tell yourself back then was not even, you couldn't fathom that. That's what secret agents used in 007. They'd have wristwatches for stuff like that. Now that is how people interact with everyone around them.
Well, our phones aren't just our phones anymore, man. They do so much. It's crazy that we even still call phones anymore, because they're basically just computers.
They're tiny
computers that are portable now. We live in that day and age that we have this type of technology that we can just bring wherever we want.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I mean, as far as like back then, you had to take the time to go to your room, get on the computer, turn it on, because people really didn't sit there and actually keep their computers on like phones are, and type in the web address, and it comes up, and you log in. And then you take that time out of your day to go ahead and do what you're doing, and then you get off.
And
but
people
like,
don't want that anymore.
Yeah, it takes
too long.
Yeah, it's instant. Nobody turns their phones off. It's on over the night. You tap the screen 2 seconds, and then you scroll up, and that's the first app you go to.
People, I think, definitely want that instant satisfaction. That's what all this technology is going towards nowadays. You have things like portable video games.
Yeah.
We have the Nintendo Switch now, where I can carry my games wherever I want. I mean, granted, we had that technology before, but
it's different now. It's definitely a different feeling in the sense of like literally everything is instantaneous. It's right there. You don't have to do much of anything to acquire your sense of entertainment. You get on your phone, you go to YouTube, and 3 hours go by, and you go, "Wow, I had a whole bunch of fun just now."
I see people get really mad when their phones don't respond right then and there.
Yeah. That's true. Like oh my God, my Wi-Fi isn't working. Oh, what am I doing? Oh no, I can't. And it's like,
it's like they tap their phone. Yeah, they're like beating their phone with their thumb, and I'm just like, dude, give it a second.
Yeah,
bro.
It's not gonna go any faster. Or what was it? The moment that Facebook went down for the day.
People lost their freaking minds.
Oh my God, I can't post stuff right now. Why is that such a big deal? Go outside for 5 minutes. Like, that shouldn't be so detrimental to you that it's affecting you to where you start freaking out because you can't figure out why you can't access the internet like you want to. And in a weird way, it's like the fact that we're kind of being babied now. Everything is that, like you said, that instant gratification, it's changing our mindset to think that we deserve this stuff. It should be this way no matter what. Like, I don't know. It is definitely starting to head in a very weird way. But if we kind of don't open up our eyes to everything that's really happening around us, it's kind of really going to kind of go downhill.
So, okay, what do you think that what can we do to protect ourselves online? Because I think that's a big thing that we need to talk about.
Protection, of course. Yeah, no. Protection is one thing that is, and see, it's weird to think about it because a lot of people think, oh, well, I've got all this software protection. I've got all this stuff that I can use to take care of what I'm doing. And it's not actually what they think it is.
Well, is it possible to be anonymous online anymore?
Nah, not 100%. No, you're always, Big Brother is always watching. Like there's nothing you can do about that. I think they're the people that create these programs on purpose to make you feel as though everything's okay.
Do you feel like people are, I mean, because I feel like, I mean, it's obvious, you know, we're being looked at. We're being
monitored.
Spied on.
All the time.
Spied on. Basically, we're being spied on.
This country watches us
now,
24/7.
Is it so that because there's this secret society that, you know, controls everything and that just wants to know where we are? Or do you think it's just more like from a marketing standpoint, like people we want to sell things to you?
Oh, I think it's kind of both because it's a sense of control, really. When you look at the big picture, it's a sense of if we know what you buy and we know what you do on a day-to-day basis, we know how to make you do the things we want you to.
Man, I know people that they're addicted to their phones. They can't not have their phone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. There's definitely been moments where it's like, oh, my phone's on my lap and it's got to stay on my lap and I can't just, and now it's like I'm comfortable being able to just toss my phone to the side and go throughout my day. But there were definitely moments to where I had to have my phone in my lap or in my pocket because I needed to know if somebody sent me something. And that's that was unnecessary. That wasn't helping me. That wasn't progressing my life in a positive way. It was just making me feel as though I was connected to something that didn't really exist.
But look how much more happier. Look how happier we got when we decided to put it down for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I put it down altogether because I do catch myself and I do scroll through my Facebook and I look at my Instagram now. I have an Instagram now.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that before.
Y'all check out my Instagram.
Shameless plugs. Yeah. But like, yeah, no, honestly, it is definitely like me and Cosmic both, we'll have moments to where it'll be dead silent in the room. And next thing you know, we kind of like we react to it like we've got some like red paint on us or something. We're like, oh no, wait, whoa, oh no, we're on the phone again. Wait, throw it away,
I'll toss it. I'll toss my phone because I'm done with it.
We'll quickly try to tell ourselves, it's happening again. Just toss it to the side.
And I'll try to go do something productive with myself.
Something positive. When you notice that you're not actually doing this for any reason other than just to be on your phone, that's when you start to need to kind of notice like, hey, maybe you can kind of put it down for the day, for an hour, for 30 minutes at least.
So we know that social media isn't a complete bad thing. Like, it's not all bad. So I guess my question would be to you, how can I use my social media in a positive way to get a good outcome out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best option is moderation, honestly. That's that, like I said, that hour, that 30 minutes, or literally a whole day, or taking it to where Saturdays and Sundays you're not on your phone like that. Moderate yourself and just watch how long you're on something. And with moderation, I kind of feel like turns into application because you're telling yourself, okay, not to like baby yourself and give yourself a time limit, but like you start to realize what you're using it for. Are you trying to spend hours scrolling through videos, or are you trying to communicate with your loved ones, or maybe make a brand for yourself?
So I guess my challenge to you, after you listen to this today, I want you to challenge yourself. When you get on your Facebook, I want you look at the time. Just note what time it is, and note what time you get off of it, and then note, what am I doing on this? Am I getting something out of this? Is this benefiting me in any type of way? Yeah. If not, then maybe you need to reevaluate how you use social media.
Yeah, the definition of how you're looking at social media. If it's giving you negative emotions, if it's sucking your time away, if it's not really bringing you joy or connecting you to anyone that you want to be around, or building a business for yourself, I personally would say you might want to maybe pay attention to that.
So I think we're going to cut it right there. We both hit some pretty good points, I feel like. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it as much as we enjoyed making it. Please, if you want, please comment. Please tell us what you feel. Tell us, I don't agree with that. Please, just let us know. Feedback. Just come at me in a respectful manner. And as long as you come at me in a respectful manner, I'm going to come at you in a respectful manner.
Of course, yeah. Definitely give us critiques. Tell us how you feel about it. If you think of anything that we may have missed or could have talked about a little bit more, just definitely give your input.
So thanks you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it more than you know. Join us next week when we talk about the power of music.
See you then.